All right, so Dr. Oz thinks he's going to win his primary against McCormick, and he's acting like he already has. He's got a tiny, tiny lead. There's probably going to be an automatic recount. There's some debate now over the mail-in votes and which ones get counted and which ones don't. But anyway, he's assuming that he's going to win. And so he went on Greg Kelly's show. I think this is on Newsmax. It might be Newsmax or One American News, something like one of the fringe right-wing outlets. And Greg Kelly asked Dr. Oz about Fetterman and Fetterman's stance on marijuana. He very openly says we should legalize recreational marijuana. Oz is asked about that, and he gives a terrible answer and a terrible reason as to why we shouldn't legalize marijuana. Let's watch.
Fetterman has won statewide in Pennsylvania. He's got that going for him. He doesn't dress like a normal politician. He's always wearing hoodies and he wears shorts. I
love the how a lot of people on the right have postured as like, we're against the elites. And then you get this guy who comes along who's based and doesn't dress like an elite. He wears like basketball shorts and hoodies, and now they're kind of attacking him for it. You know, what happened? I thought you were against elites. There's this like total average guy energy about Fetterman, and that's one of the appeals politically for him, is that people look at him and they're like, this guy's not condescending, this guy's not sneering, this guy's not looking down his nose and smugly judging other people, this guy's a regular dude. It's a political advantage for him. But now all of a sudden these guys in suits and ties are like, he doesn't dress like a normal politician. Yeah, and that's cool. We like that.
wants to legalize marijuana, I believe, which essentially, quite frankly, seems to be legal. What is your stance on that, by the way, marijuana?
You know, there are not enough Pennsylvanians to work in Pennsylvania. So giving them pot so they stay home is not, I don't think, an ideal move. I also don't want to...
The idea that if you legalize weed, but nobody's going to want to work, everybody's just going to want to stay home and smoke. What? Alcohol is legal, and that's a worse drug, and most people still go to work. Maybe there's a tiny, tiny, tiny percentage that are alcoholics that don't work, and it's because of the alcohol, but nobody ever thinks about maybe we should ban alcohol as a result of that. What a ridiculous thing to say. This guy's a doctor. Dr. Oz. He's against weed because people won't even want to work, bro. This is the Dave Rubin argument, like, oh, it might lead to a collapse of society if we legalize. If we give the plebs freedom, it won't end well. So don't give them freedom. Okay, well then just embrace the fact that you're an authoritarian. Just embrace that. Be honest about it. I'm an authoritarian. I want the government to control your personal life in as many ways as possible. Say it. Own that. But they're not going to own that, of course.
Breed addiction to marijuana. It's not physical addiction, it's emotional addiction, but I don't want young people to think they have to smoke a joint to get out of their house in the morning. We need to get Pennsylvanians back at work. You got to give them their mojo, and I don't want marijuana to be a hindrance to that. I also don't want people operating heavy machinery and driving by me when they've been taking their fourth joint of the day.
What a massive red herring. You can have legal marijuana and not have it legal to operate heavy machinery while you're high on said marijuana. You can have legal marijuana and not have it legal to drive while you're high. Alcohol is legal, but you're not allowed to drunk drive, for example. Like, none of the arguments are even close to good. And by the way, we're talking about the drug war is responsible for destroying hundreds of thousands or millions of lives. Like, just destroying lives, upending families, locking people up who shouldn't be locked up. I mean, it is deeply authoritarian. And instead of having a conversation about that and how we need to redress these grievances and we need to give people more freedom and we need to free the nonviolent drug offenders, he's leaning into it. You know, this idea like weed makes people lazy and weed makes people not responsible. And it's just, bro, the year's 2022, catch up. There's some polls 60%, 70% of the country's like, yeah, legalize recreational marijuana. And he hasn't caught up to it.
But there are other issues that are plaguing Pennsylvanians. We're a border state practically, right? Because they're flying illegal immigrants up here from the border in the middle of the night, these night flights, but they're also getting narcotics up here really easily. And
okay, that's all we got, but wow. Dr. Oz making the best case imaginable for voting for John Fetterman. just showing how awesome Fetterman is by dressing like a normal person, being for legalized marijuana. And this is why having Democratic candidates who take popular positions is awesome, because what happens is you bait these goofball Republicans into arguing against very popular positions, and they don't even realize they're doing it. Like, I think Oz here thinks he's, taking the common sense guy position. He thinks he's saying the thing that's popular and intelligent. And people simply do not agree with his reasoning here, do not agree with his position here. And I love it. Bait these morons into making moronic arguments. And like I said, if you have Dr. Oz versus Fetterman, that's a heavyweight slugfest. And I think Oz has a better chance against Fetterman than McCormick, but still, Fetterman can do it. Now, the thing Fetterman has going against him is that it's a Republican wave election. So that might hurt him. That might make it so he doesn't win. But if anybody can do it in this political environment, it would be Fetterman, because he does have a unique appeal to him, and he's not afraid to take those more popular positions. So we'll see what happens, but Dr. Oz shoving his foot in his mouth before the race even officially starts. If you want to see me and Crystal Ball interview legends like Noam Chomsky, Cornel West, and more, subscribe to Crystal Kyle and Friends on Substack. $5 a month gets you the video version a day early. Remember, we take 0 ad dollars for this podcast. Or you can sign up on Substack for free and get the audio version a day later. Link in the video description box below.